We don't want to mess with our classic horns. If we put an F sharp key on our horn, it's gonna ruin the whole sound. We're gonna ruin the whole vibe. I'll be bad at jazz. Holy macaroni, we are back, and I'm bringing you some succulent, delicious, splendiferous E flat and D sharp fingerings for your own saxophone consumption. Let's get right into it. Forever and for always, we start our D sharp series with a potato fingering. This one, you all know, C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5, the overblown high F sharp. As with all potato fingerings, it's very reliable, it's right there, it's very practical to get to. However, thin, no backbone, has a tendency to go flat. I have to say it. This fingering, if you don't have like a really beefy reed or like a really tight embouchure, it's gonna go flat on you. And that should become apparent in the scales. So I wanted to talk briefly about what I'm gonna do for the scales. With regards to our potato fingerings, I just want to use other potato fingerings because when it comes to altissimo, relating the different fingerings to each other is probably the best strategy for linking scales, because not only does it make it easier for the fingers, it also makes it for a more even timbre and a more even tone color throughout the scale. To me, I still have to like really pinch up to get up to those high notes, but you might find if you have to hit that note out of nowhere, for instance, in an arpeggio. I really have to do a lot of manipulating with my embouchure to make that note sound halfway decent. The next fingering in the list is from our favorite contributor to the series, none other than Claude DeLong. I think you know what's coming. I think some clarion fingers are on the way. Let's check it out. First on our list for Claude DeLong is 1, C3, C4, and C5. As always, very sharp, very clarion, very easy response. You're not gonna have trouble getting to this one. This one relates to other fingerings in the Claude DeLong family, so maybe we can put some of those together. For instance, he fingered high D with 1, C4, and C3. I believe Marcus Weiss did the same thing. Let's hear that again. All right, so going from there and then hitting our E flat, that should be pretty easy. The question is, oh my gosh, how do we get to that D? I mean, maybe I should have practiced these, but okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use another Claude DeLong fingering. We're gonna use all Claude DeLongs. This is the Claude DeLong special. Are you ready? So I can't remember off the top of my head his G sharp fingering, so we're just gonna use the classic 1, 3, 4 TC. We're gonna jump to Claude DeLong B flat 3, 4, 5. We'll then jump to Claude DeLong C 1, 3, 5, 6. We'll go to Claude DeLong D, C4, 1, C3, and then we'll just put down our F sharp key for that last E flat. That's really nice, actually. Sorry I didn't prepare that more, okay? I don't use this fingering. I like it and I appreciate it. Suffice to say, I like knowing other people's fingerings and experimenting with them. That is not easy, okay? So pretty hard to approach by leap. Very impractical to get to, really tough. I think this is a good fingering if you're just trying to ping out an E flat or a D sharp out of nowhere. The next Claude DeLong fingering for E flat is one that I'm pretty sure you all know. I saw this one floating around on the internet the other day. So 2, 4, 6 with optional E flat. Oh man. That one just hits you like a truck and it's mucho sharp. Holy moly. People like this fingering though. Not my favorite. How are we going to link it? Claude DeLong's fingering, Claude DeLong's fingerings. So let's do it again. Claude DeLong fingering scale. That's so hard. That goes against every fiber of my being. I am happy to experiment with it for you guys though. That is so hard. Next on our list is one that everybody knows. X, TA, optional TC, and C5. TA version is obviously flatter. The TC version gives you a little bit more room. What don't I like about this fingering? It's a little bit thin. It's a little bit thin. I like having more fingers down. That makes it a little impractical when you have more fingers down to do scales, to do arpeggios, these kinds of things. But boy, does it sound good when you have more of your horn vibrating. This is getting harder and harder to do fingerings that I don't like, but anything for you guys. You'll notice when I do the wincy eye, that means I'm working a little bit too hard. So if that's a separate metric that will help inform you on what fingerings to use, go ahead and use that. Every time Sean winces, it's probably not very comfortable to play whatever he's doing. A closely related cousin, and this goes out to all my Mark 6 boys out there, all my no F sharp crew, no F sharp gang, okay? We don't want to mess with our classic horns. If we put an F sharp key on our horn, it's gonna ruin the whole sound. We're gonna ruin the whole vibe. I'll be bad at jazz if I have a high F sharp key on my saxophone. I understand, and I'm here to bring you a solution to high D sharp. This one goes X and TC. A lot of you are shaking your head, you don't believe me, but I went deep for this fingering. I went deep for you guys. I had to check out one of my favorite players on the planet, Kazuki Katsuta. This man played a really famous solo on something you guys all know. That's right, Mario Kart. Dolphin Shawls. My man lays down one of the tastiest high E flats you'll ever hear. And it's really funny because if you listen to the video, Katsuta plays these notes really, really sharp. In fact, if you look at some of the transcriptions online, they transcribe his high E flat as an E quarter tone flat. That's how sharp it is. And he's doing that on what I would consider a relatively flat fingering. My goodness. So setup makes the fingering in my book. Here it is on my classical setup. You know, and that's compared to its close cousin. Not a huge difference, but definitely a lot lower in pitch. You guys can all hear that. And then that's still in a family of fingerings that's flatter than what I'm more accustomed to. But I think that point is worth reiterating, is that certain setups are going to make some of these fingerings a lot easier for you, and it's going to cut you off from others. So for instance, if we think back to high G, not a lot of classical players that I know use 1, 3, 4, 6, and TA. However, this is the go-to in pop. Maybe they play it a little bit flat, maybe it's right in tune or whatever, but it's just a different approach. And especially if you're going for that sort of crackly pop G, you should use the same fingerings that they use, right? And this is going to give you more of that David Sanborn, Eric Marienthal, Kazuki Katsuta sort of crackliness. So check that out. This last fingering on our list is one I kind of discovered on my own and then later found out is possibly a Rosher fingering. Somebody go ahead and leave a comment and verify this. This one goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, low C, low E flat. This is my Dahl second movement fingering. This is my E flat fingering. This is my arpeggio fingering. This is my scale fingering. This is my everything. This is my baby. So much horn is resonating. It's very sharp. It's very responsive once you find the position, and I like linking it in a scale with one of my other favorite fingerings, which is X 2 3 4 for high D. And if you guys haven't tried this one yet, give it a shot. I don't know if I invented it, but maybe I did. Who knows? did the wince there, but I promise it was a lot easier than some of the other winces from earlier in this very video. So guys, I gotta tap out. I'm all out of D sharp and E flat juice. That is a tough one to record. These are getting substantially harder to record because it's going higher. My lip is tired because you guys are inspiring me so much. I'm practicing like a grad student again, much to my wife's chagrin. But it's worked out. I'm really happy and enjoying putting this out there for you guys. So if you like the series, if you like the D sharps, if you like the E flats, you might say, then go ahead and slap tongue the like button, tap the notification bell, become a subscriber. Are you not a subscriber? Please subscribe. It'll make all your reeds work. It'll make your mouthpiece facing perfectly smooth and even and amazing. It will unstick all of your sticky pads on your saxophone. You don't need key leaves. You just need to subscribe to this channel. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that button.